Today we can discuss loops in Java. A loop is a block of statements that are to be executed repeatedly. So that means a loop contains one or more statement that can execute more than once. So for example, suppose you have to find the sum of 100 numbers, then we can do this process by accepting one input, then add that number to an assumed sum. So that means accept the first number from the user, then add with the assumed sum, that is total. Then accept the second number from the user or console, then add it with the total. Again accept the read the next number, again add it with the total number, and you have to repeat this process until the 100th number has been read and added with the sum. So this is the process of finding sum of 100 numbers. So you can repeat this process 100 times. So instead of repeating these statements, that is reading a number and add it with the sum, instead of repeating these statements 100 times, we can perform a loop. That means we are executing statements, read one number, then add it with the total. Actually, these two statements are to be executed 100 times. So we can execute this as a loop. So Java supports while loop, do while loop, and for loop. Then first of all, we can see the while loop. While loop syntax: while there is a condition, then body of the loop or one or more statements. Here the expression or this condition, test expression, that is the condition on which the while loop is executed. That means first the condition is evaluated, and if this expression is true, then the body of the loop will be executed. That means as long as the condition remains true, this block of statements will be executed. So this condition determines whether the loop is to be terminated or to be executed. So let us see the next example. Here there is a while loop. While CNT less than or equal to 5, there is a statement system.out.println, the value of CNT is CNT. Then we are increment the value of this CNT, because CNT is the control variable of this while loop. So we need a statement to change the value of this control variable, so that when the statement is executing, the test expression is to be altered in order to come out of the loop. So we can see the output as the value of CNT is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. When the value of CNT becomes greater than or equal to 5, then it will come out of the loop. Then do while loop is another variation of this while loop. Here the difference between while and do while is that only with the condition. That means here in the case of do while loop, the condition is tested at the end of the loop, so that the block of statement or body of the loop will execute at least once, because first we are executing the statement, then after executing the statement once, we are verifying whether the condition is true or false. So do, see this loop, do system.out.println, enter into while loop, then here there is a condition while enter. Here first this statement will be executed, then the loop condition is tested. When the condition is true, again it will repeat the loop, otherwise the loop will be terminated. Then one more loop is that is for loop. For loop contains three different terms. First is an initialization, then second part is the termination statement or condition. This will determine the condition on which the loop is to be terminated or executed. And the third field or third term is the increment or decrement statement, that is to alter the value of this control variable. Usually the initialization contains the initialization of the loop control variable. So we are initializing a variable with the initial value, so that the loop can be executed a number of times. The initial termination condition or second test expression determines whether the loop is to be terminated or to be continued. Then so the order of execution is first this initialization statement will be executed. That means assign the initial value to the control variable, then it will come to the second time, that is to evaluate the condition. If this condition is true, then this block of statement will be executed. After that, the control will be transferred to this third term, that is to change the value of, alter the value of control variable, that is to increment the variable or decrement the control variable. Then after incrementing or decrementing this control variable, it will come to this portion, termination. Here again the test expression is evaluated. If this expression evaluates true, then again the body of the loop will be executed. Again the control is transferred to this third term. So it will continuously execute like that. Whenever this termination condition becomes false, the loop will be terminated. So the first term, the initialization part, will be executed only once, that is at the beginning of the loop. So we can picture this flowchart as this: first the initialization part, then there is the condition, check the condition. If it is true, the control will come inside the loop, otherwise it will break the loop and terminate. See the example for int cnt is equal to 1, cnt less than or equal to counter cnt plus plus system.out.println, current value of cnt is cnt. Here int cnt is equal to 1. This is the initialization part. Here cnt is the control variable of the loop. Then the condition or test expression is cnt less than or equal to counter. There is a counter variable that has already been initialized with the value 4. So first this part is executed. Then cnt less than or equal to counter will be verified. If this is true, it will come to this statement system.out.println. Now after executing statement, this cnt plus plus will be executed, and again this condition is verified. If it is again true, it will again execute this statement, otherwise it will come out of this loop. Then infinite loop means we can create an infinite loop in Java by specifying a for loop like this one, that is by omitting all the three terms inside this parenthesis. For semicolon semicolon means this first semicolon is that is for initialization part, then second semicolon, that is for specifying the termination condition. So we can avoid these two terms and just specify the body of the loop. This will execute this will execute infinitely because there is no condition specified within this for loop.